Hey, what's up YouTube? This is just going to be a quick video just going over a couple kind of, I guess you could say, questions in regarding auto body. This is more dedicated to the Hack and Pack Shop channel on YouTube. This is to see if Sean could just give me a little bit of advice on what he thinks I should do. I've seen some of his work. He does some really incredible things with things that most people would just send to the junkyard, so maybe he could give me a little insight on this. This is a 2000 Pontiac Grand Prix. And some of the battles that we've dealt with on here, which is being in the snow band, I guess you would say, in Pennsylvania here, is that with rust. Almost every one of these cars I ever see all seem to rot out. Mostly their rocker panels as well as their strut tires and stuff. So if you look here, this is the, for reference, this is the passenger side. This is a four-door 2000 GT model Pontiac Grand Prix. It has I want to say 140,000 approximately on it, but about 4 years ago we had a guy do layover rocker panels on here, and what he had done was, I originally took it to him with the intentions and the idea that we were under the same impression that he was going to cut out all the cancer and the rust and everything that was on this vehicle and weld these rocker covers over, because it even had started to deteriorate the pinch weld underneath here on the unibody. And unfortunately he did not do that. What he did was he just used seam sealer and then riveted it on, which, and didn't even, in my opinion, I don't have proof, but in my opinion he didn't even cut out the rust that was on there. So he just kind of threw them over it, slapped some glue over it, riveted to hold it in place in a few spots. Didn't even properly attach the layover panels to the pinch weld on the bottom. So there was like big gaps and stuff where water and salt and everything could get in. And a lot of the problems with this is that these cars depend on these rockers for structural. Unlike a truck that has a frame, the pinch weld is structural, and it does give you the opportunity to put the car on a lift. Without them, you can't put it on a lift. Well, you probably could find other places, but it won't pass inspection. Let's just get down to brass tacks here. So if you look here, I mean, this is the work I had did. I put another layover on it. I took the old one off, sanded it down, cut it all up, got all the junk out of there, and then I put, now this is just dirt right here. My dad does not take care of this car whatsoever. I made these makeshift brackets that I had to get the body skirts to mount back on. So, because the aluminum brackets that they used from the factory to mount these body skirts on here had rotted completely off too, and there was nothing to attach to. So what I did was I went to 4 different points, and I took these brackets here, and I actually screwed them into the new layover cover, and I used seam sealer along here and just went nuts putting rivets the whole way down here, because I don't have a welder, nor do I have the ability to weld, and got these layover covers on here. And then I was able to use tapping screws to get these rocker panels, or I'm sorry, the skirts to mount to the brackets that I had created that mount to the actual layover rocker. So it has worked. I mean, this is probably about a year ago I did this, and it still has not rusted. So clearly I did a better job than this guy that claims that he does body work. But like I said, I know it's not as good as welding. I don't even know, this car sits so low, I don't even know if it'll pick up the pinch weld or not. So I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, that pinch weld has definitely seen better days. But it's, like I said, it's a lot more sound than what it was from the work that he did. In addition to that, I can actually put a jack on it carefully. Now, I typically don't jack up from those pinch welds. I try to find a more solid point to jack up from, because from my experience, those pinch welds, they just bend, especially if you're not on an even surface, if you're using like a floor jack. This is the side that he had done. Yeah, if I can open the door. This is the side he had done that I had not redone yet. And if you look here, it's just a complete mess. I mean, look, that bracket he made, that makeshift bracket gone. It did not hold up. I mean, this is, 4 years ago, and I know these don't last forever. But as you can see, that's a hole in there now. It's completely rotted back through. I don't believe he cleaned any of the rust out at all. I think he just threw these panels right over the rust, so it continued to deteriorate from the inside out. There's really not much left to the pinch weld either. In through here, this is all shot. And then what the worst thing that we ran into was, I'm going to throw this camera in here and see if it'll even pick it up, is, probably not, probably won't pick up the angle. There she is. The strut towers are gone. Yeah, you can see straight through the trunk, and we're actually starting to get some fracturing on the unibody from it pulling because there's no support anymore, and the wheels are starting to actually lift up and lift in. Shouldn't be driving it, but hey, you know, my dad's stubborn. He's going to do what he wants to do. So he just drives it a mile down the road and a mile back. But yeah, this is the rest of the rocker here. You can see pretty much shot. I don't know if I'll be able to get under this side, guys. Let me see if I can get down here and lay down and get the pinch weld. Let's see here. I can switch hands. Yeah, that's the back of the pinch weld. As you can see, the layover isn't even connected anymore to the original pinch weld. That looks like another hole there that I didn't even know about. That's where the jack just completely went right through and crushed it. But, you know, it's sad because if you look at the rest of, like, the floorboards and everything, they're perfect. That's my fuel line repair that I did. But, yeah, I mean, really, I think the only way to fix all this is to take all these panels back off of here and cut it all back off again and just clean it up, and then try to get some more maybe steel and run along the inside of the pinch weld to reinforce it. Weld that on it and just weld some new layovers over, and then just, you know, undercoat the inside and paint it and clear it, you know, the best you can. But yeah, I just, like I said, I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to give you a quick update, you know, and let you see what I was working with here. I'll show you under the hood real quick. But yeah, the trunk, like I said, you can see straight through it now. It's a shame because the car runs and drives. It does need the transmission. We built the overdrive spline, had went about 4 years ago. So once again, that's why my dad doesn't drive it too far, because it doesn't have overdrive, which is very common on these 3800s. The overdrive splines on the end of the shaft just shear right off because they don't really use a really good hardened steel in the transmissions. This is the one I did the intake gaskets on because the famous Dexcool just ate it away. So I put the new intakes on this, and then did the switched it over to the green coolant. Then I also put these new elbows on here, which are famous for leaking too. The little coolant passages that go through the bottom brace of the alternator back to the heater core hoses. These little elbows here, you can get them in the self-help section at pretty much every auto parts. Dorman actually makes an aluminum set now because somebody finally realized, well, let's see, plastic and scalding hot metal doesn't mix. So there's the aluminum ones. I don't have the part number for that. I should try to find a part number for that and put that in the description for you. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Most people say cut your losses, but it's a shame because the car runs and drives great. You know, the front strut tires are fine. I mean, there's a little bit of, you know, peelage going on the top of the strut, but that's not actually the tower itself. That's just the struts that are rusted, which can be replaced, you know, without doing any body work. So yeah, let me know what you think. I mean, I just wish that wish I knew somebody that knew how to weld and local to here that could, you know, take care of trying to weld these strut towers back here and getting this back, you know, back up and safe again. And with everything else on the car, honestly, other than the transmission, which, you know, we could always try to pick up another transmission for or just get it rebuilt, but it's not worth going through that with these rockers like this. Now, I can do this rocker on this side and make it look just like the other side and get it a lot better and more secure. Obviously, still not as good as welding, but it's something I can do. I clearly did it on the other side, and it held up very well, the work I did. But the strut towers, they're beyond me. That's something that somebody's going to have to get in there and fabricate and weld something in there. So, but yeah, let me know. I mean, otherwise, we're probably just going to sell this car as is, let people know what's going on with it. and hopefully somebody can use it for parts, or somebody has the ability to fix it up, great. But yeah, hope all is well up there in your end of town, and thanks for watching, guys.